Ah, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, that's exciting. Hello. So over the weekend, I was scrolling Instagram, as you do, specifically Trend Moods. So Trend Moods is an Instagram page that basically shows new releases, upcoming releases, things like that in the makeup world. So I'm scrolling and I'm seeing things that just aren't striking me at all because I'm a very hard person to please. And I come across Beauty Bay's Reckless Romance palette and my heart stopped just for a moment. It kind of reminded me of when Wet n Wild put out its Rebel Rose collection. I mean, I don't know why that struck me. I think because when I think of romance, I think of roses and things like that, even though the color stories are completely different. But anyway, I digress. So as I'm looking at all of the colors that are in the palette, I thought to myself, I think I have all of those in my collection, or at least close enough dupes. So yesterday I sat here for, I can't even tell you how long, probably the entire morning, depotting some shadows from my Coastal Scents palettes, and I'm gonna put footage of that whole ordeal here. So I depotted a bunch of shadows that I thought would work, that I thought were the same shades, that I thought fit the color vibe, things like that. And I used colors from my Coastal Scents palette as well as those 2 Revolution palettes that I showed you in last week's video. If you haven't watched it, it's a really big one. So I've already done my face. I haven't put any like color on. I haven't put blush, bronzer, nothing. I'm gonna do all that last. I didn't do my eyebrows either. But I thought we would sit down and maybe try out my version of the Reckless Romance palette, and I'll show you some footage here. But also in daylight, so just bear with me. It doesn't look the greatest because of course I had to try and figure out shades that kind of sort of worked. And I have a swatch here as well. So very similar colors that I found, and I was very confused when I was looking at the swatch on the website versus the swatches on my arm, because the swatches on my arm pulled a lot more cool toned than what was on the website. Even though I thought that these were supposed to be warm tones. I tried to press the cracked pans. I can see that my matte black is cracked, but you know what, we'll just work with it. So anyway, I'm gonna pull up some inspiration here and then we'll dive right into this palette. My husband just texted me and said that Toby Keith died. He texted me saying Red Solo Cup guy died. Red Solo Cup. Toby Keith. Okay, don't really know what kind of look I'm gonna do because I am so kind of honed in on how I do makeup that it's very hard for me to kind of get out of that sort of rut. I'm getting my tea because I forgot I made it. So I'm looking here on the website and I'm just looking at the photos that they have on the product page. And I think that's something I'm gonna try too. Is an overlined glossy lip, because I'm seeing in like almost every single photo that's on here is an overlined glossy lip with the product photos. There's a lot of color being pulled above the crease, and I have to really work with what I've got because we've discussed it before, but I don't have a lot of retail space here in my eye to just work with. I'll pull it up, but I kind of like this vibe here. And I think I like it because there's a lot of pink in it. Let's get started. This is gonna be wild. So I won't know what shades they used. I can really only go by what's in my own palette. But it looks like this person used the pink, a matte pink on their entire like rim of their eye. I'm gonna use my e.l.f. blending brush and I'm gonna go into, I'm gonna say it's gonna be this color here, which is a matte sort of pink color. It's a deeper pink color. I'm gonna go into that shade and I'm gonna spread that out around my entire lid as like a crease shade. Oh no! Do you know what I forgot to do? Forgot to prime my eyelids. That's what happens when I do everything out of order. I forget steps. So I'm taking my Smashbox 24 Hour eyeshadow primer and we're gonna put that on the lids real quick, because even though we're just playing around. We still want some staying power. Oh, and there goes all of my concealer and stuff that I put on my eyelids. But I find that concealer on my eyes doesn't work as a primer anyway because I have oily lids. So we'll just try to blend everything out and make it seamless again. And we're going down underneath the lash line because I see that this person has put color under their lash line as well. It's a very like going out sort of makeup look. So I'm gonna look very very bougie this morning. So a little life update. So I think I told you guys back in the first video that I made, I'm going back in that pink shade now I can do my eyes. Back when I first came back, I mentioned that my mother-in-law's dog passed away. I'm just kind of figuring out where I want this color placed, and then I'll blend. But she ended up getting a puppy. So we have a puppy in the house, and I'm gonna say something extremely controversial right now. I'm gonna just wipe off my brush a little here so I can blend a little better. I am not an animal person. I respect animals. I do like animals, but I don't want to own animals. And I have a very hard time finding people who feel the same way because I know that I have a hard time taking care of myself. So I don't really want to bring another being, whether that be an animal or another like individual, talking about babies, into like my life. So since I have not been employed, I mean, luckily my brother-in-law is home as well, so he takes care of the puppy. But she wears a Jingle Bell collar and you can hear her walking down the hall. It's never quiet in this house. It's never quiet enough in this house. Which is why I have to work like on days that my in-laws work. So my brother-in-law is the only one who's home. And like today, my in-laws are at work, but tomorrow, and for the rest of the week really, it's a Tuesday, my mother-in-law will be home. So I really can't do much because at any point, the vacuum will get run and I will never know when. And it gets run every single day when my in-laws are home. So yeah, it's been really hard kind of getting used to this idiosyncrasies. I call them idiosyncrasies. I'm actually really liking this a lot. Now this was from one of the Revolution palettes. I can't remember which one because they both have very similar names. But that's blending out really, really nicely. And now remember, this is just a, you know, shop my stash. This isn't me like completely duping and saying don't buy the Reckless Romance palette from Beauty Bay. But if you already have shades in your collection that are very simple, can't talk, that are very similar, you know, maybe use what you have. I think while I'm blending, I will just cut the video just really quick because I've noticed that it takes me 2 days to edit videos and I don't really need that much. So I ended up using this hot pink on the lower lash line because I kind of want to see what all I'm capable of with this palette. I also want to see all of the colors as much as possible. So I'll pop up the person on the screen again here, and they seem to be using, and this is the difference between my DIY palette and the Reckless Romance palette. I don't have a lot of the purples that are used in their palette. It looks like this person used a shimmer purple, and I don't really have, I do have something similar, but I don't think it's going to be like straight up purple like this looks. So I am going to, did they also use a different, it might look like they used or smoked out one of the grays. So I might actually do that too underneath my lash line before we get started. I might use, I've been experimenting with using different brushes for different purposes. Like for example, this e.l.f. Professional lip blending brush, could use it as a very, very soft, like under the waterline, under the lash line blending brush, so I might actually do that. Now, as for which gray that this person used, it looks like a matte. And so I think I'm going to take this. This is the only matte that I have in there, and it's sort of a mid-tone gray matte. I'm just going to pull that in here and smoke that out from the middle to the corner. And again, I'll film a little bit, but I won't film the entire application of my shadows because I kind of want this video to be a little bit shorter for me to video edit. But I also thought that just because my mother-in-law is home the next couple of days doesn't mean I can't put makeup on. I just can't really put makeup on and talk at the same time because I never know the volume that's going to be portrayed. So we'll start here in the middle, then we'll just kind of feather that out. And since this brush is super, super fluffy, it does a pretty good job. The more I look at their look, the more I think they used some of the grays on the outer corners, like almost like a halo eye, where they only put the shimmer. Well, it's hard to tell because of the lighting, but I'm like deciding how I want to go forward here because I don't want to completely copy their look, but at the same time it would be just easier if I did. Because I do want to see what other looks are capable with this DIY palette, because that's gonna fill up the rest of this video, is just me doing my makeup for the rest of the week using just this palette and just throwing the looks up for you at the very end of the video. There's browns in here I could use that would go, and maybe we could try them. I have two browns, two deeper browns I should say. I'll throw up, again, from the Beauty Bay website, I'll throw up what shades are in the palette, which I really love about Beauty Bay, like so much, is that they actually tell you what colors are in their palette. They tell you if it's a warm hue, they tell you if it's a shimmer, they tell you if it's a matte color. I think that's beautiful. I love that. So I think the browns that are supposed to be in this palette that I tried to dupe are a deep brown matte and then a warm toned deep brown matte. So there's just a deep brown matte, which I'm assuming is more of a neutral, and then a deeper one that's warm. So I think I'll go for the warmer color because our look looks pretty warm today. And I'll take my e.l.f. blending brush again. She's getting a lot of love today. And I'll go into my shade down here. I tried to match up the colors to the palette. They're not exact, but I tried my best. And the Coastal Scents, I wish Coastal Scents still existed because their palettes were so pigmented. I mean, holy moly. I'm trying to be really light here because I still want that pink in there. I want the pink to really, like, not necessarily be the star, but I definitely want that pink to be in there. And I'm deciding if I want to use my NYX eyeliners today, or Catrice. I can't remember who. I think it was the Catrice ones, were the metallic ones. So I'm keeping this on the outer V here. I might use a different shade in the middle, or rather the this part of the eye here. Ooh, see, that's really pretty. I haven't seen any reviews of anybody actually using the Beauty Bay palette. Oh, that's nice. That's so pretty. So I'm just kind of winging it with my own concoction here. Normally I go super conservative with my looks because I never really know what to do anymore makeup wise. My husband and I are homebodies for sure, so we don't really get out much. Like on a Thursday night or something, we'll be like, oh yeah, we should totally do something this weekend. By like Friday night, we'll be like, we could do something on Saturday. And then Saturday comes, we could go out tomorrow, like in the afternoon, and go get like coffee or something. But see, that's the thing about places over here. Not many places are open on Sundays. So it's really difficult to do anything when you have a very high recovery. Like I mean, yes, I am doing a lot of stuff from home now, but like I'm still pretty whooped by the end of the week. You know, I'm not just sitting here on my butt. I might go in with this sort of taupey color at the top here and put that into the inner corner of the eye just before I start putting all the glitz and stuff in, but I kind of want to put that in first. And I think I'll use a smaller brush. This is an AOA Studio E122 brush. It's a small packing brush. I want to see how that plays in the corner here. Oh, we kind of want all those mattes to play ball first. And then we will let the shimmers take the show. I would have never played with these sort of shades if it was not for the inspiration that struck when I saw that palette. And it's something that I've always wanted to do. Like, I've always wanted to dupe a palette with the shades that I had here at home, because I'm like, there's no point in me buying all this eyeshadow if I have plenty here. Like, I have so much to play with. And it's just a matter of finding that inspiration. So I am grateful that Beauty Bay came up with this palette. I'm sure something has already existed very similar. But like I said, it reminded me so much of the Wet n Wild Rebel Rose collection that came out in 2019. And I wanted that collection so bad, if only just for the like rose-shaped brushes that it came with. But it's not available anymore, and that's okay. But I went on a website here, and if I remember, I'll try and, it's like Gingerly Polished or something like that. It's a beauty blog. And they posted a review when the collection came out, and oh my gosh, their looks were so stunning. And that gave me some ideas. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have been so boring with my makeup and just like not experimental at all. That looks pretty. Let me look at this thing again. This person didn't put an inner eye pop, but I am. And I'm gonna use this shade here. It's a super, super light pink. And I'm gonna put that in the inner corner with my AOA Studio E124 pencil brush. And as far as I remember and recall with this shade, it is very, very bright. Oh yes. This was an e.l.f. shade from one of their beauty books. But for the life of me, I can't remember what beauty book it came out of. I'll show you in a second. Can you see it at all? I will cut this if you can't see it. So it just really popped in there. It's also getting in my eye. No, but that's a pretty shade. I really like this a lot. It's a little bit much for, like, you know, the middle of the day. But it's really fun. Also, because my face isn't completely like covered in makeup yet, it looks a little bit scary. I kind of look like, what's the one Addams Family character's name? I'll put him up here. I just can't recall him off the top of my head. Oh my, we have to put that pop in the middle. And yes, I think I will use my darker sort of purpley, burgundy, maroon. I'm not really quite sure what color that is. Taking my E122 again. And we're just gonna pack that in the middle. I'm really excited. This is a very, very shimmery shade, so this is gonna be fun. Ah, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, that's exciting. I really hope that the Beauty Bay palette is as good as what I've been putting on. Again, like I said, so the person in the photo has a more purple shade on, because I don't really have shades that are like that really. At least that didn't lean more violet. I had a lot of more bluey purples, and I was like, that doesn't really hit the vibe here. I might even put something on top of this. That is so pretty. Just, And the cool thing is, I don't have a ton of fallout. I was really worried about that. Look, I'm using my fan brush. It's kind of working. It's a little bit stuck down there, but that's okay. Let's blend it in. It'll be highlight. That is so pretty, but I think I'm gonna go one step further and put something right in the middle. And I think it's gonna be that same color. That's in the inner corner. I just want something to go pow. Just a little bit. Let's blend it in just slightly. Oh gosh, that is so pretty. Now this person has a wing, and it's like a fox eye. So they have eyeliner towards the inner corner and, you know, all the way out, but I'm not gonna do that because I can't be bothered to use my Catrice liquid liner in the inner corner. It bothers me to even use it in the first place. But we do need something. Since we do have so much shimmer, I do feel like, yeah, we need to have like something bold. Because I was thinking I wanted to use my Catrice metal gel liners, but I don't think I'm going to. But I could. Why not? Let's just do it. So I have my Catrice Liquid Metal Gel Eye Pencil in Hazel the Hoff. I think in last week's video I called it Don't Hazel the Hoff, but that's because I think that's the term, isn't it? Don't hassle the Hoff. But it's just called Hazel the Hoff. So I'm going to go ahead and use this as my liner. I don't know how yet, but I think I'll do it off camera so I can actually do it. Just pretend that it's like the most beautiful winged liner you've ever seen. Okay? I had a really hard time with that. I tried the tape method, which I didn't film because it was actually horrendous. It just went a little out of hand. So we're gonna have uneven wings. Hopefully none of you out there have OCD like me. Okay, now we're just gonna finish the rest of the face. So now I do have a new bronzer and blush in my palette. See how it's very pale. Is anybody watching anything interesting or different? So I just recently watched Has Been Hotel. I've been following that since the pilot, so, well, not religiously, because I know there was like a whole podcast and stuff that the cast used to do, the old cast from the pilot used to do. I've been following Hell of a Boss. Haven't missed an episode of that, I don't think. So when Has Been Hotel came out on Amazon Prime, I watched that. And then, what else have I watched? I recently watched the live action Yu Yu Hakusho. I don't know how many of you guys are like anime people or just, I don't watch a lot of dramas or anything. Like, you're not gonna catch me watching Grey's Anatomy or anything. We're watching X-Files right now though, my husband and I. And I actually do want to watch Lone Star 911 because I love Rob Lowe. We're watching X-Files, but we're also watching, or at least trying to watch Our Flag Means Death at the same time. So we watch one show a night during dinner. And that's like our thing. We have found that if we binge a show, we won't necessarily remember what happens. So like when we started watching season 2 of Our Flag Means Death, we completely forgot like what even happened because we binged it whenever we were over in America during the summer. And oh, that was my AOA Studio High Def Brush F9. And I'm going to take my, let's use this one, my e.l.f. angled blush brush, and I'm going to dip into, and I'll show you real quick before I get on my tangent here about TV. So that was the bronzer or contour that I used, and this is the blush that I'm going to use. It's from Shop Miss A, but I don't remember what brand it was. And let me see if there's anything on the bottom. No, just a bunch of magnets. But it is a pretty shade. Even though it looks super red in the pan, it does pull a little bit more rosy, kind of pink, and it shears out to be an even more violet-y sort of pink. So that's going to go on the cheeks, and that's going to be a nice shade. This would be a good shade to pair with that cream blush that I would like to get into. See, this is a pretty shade. It's a very pretty rosy kind of color, hence why it's probably a rose. But she pigmented, which is a bit much. I'll have to tone her down because the eyes are the show today, not the complexion. And once I put my powder on top, everything will kind of come together. I kind of want to keep the face pretty neutral because we have such vibrant colors on the eyes. What color should we do today? It's very hard to choose. I'm kind of drawn to this purpley one. Let's go for it. So I'm going to take my AOA Studio F19 brush. I mean, that color would have been nice too. This sort of rose gold. Sort of a light rose gold, because there's a couple of colors in here that could be considered rose gold. I'm going to take this sort of lilac shade. Just gently butterfly kiss it across the cheekbones here. Should I start contouring my nose? That is a place that I never contour. And I probably should. I don't know how I'm going to do the overline lip. And I also don't know what lip I want to do. I was thinking of Tantalizing from LA Colors, which is a lip gloss. But I don't know if I want to, like, I don't know if I want to layer a lip today. But I do want a glossier lip. Just to see. I need to do my eyebrows and I'll do my mascara. I'll do both of those off camera, and I'll powder my face as well off camera, just to save some time. Let's see if you can hear the dog. She's about to be fed, so that's why she's barking. that's gonna go on for at least another 5 more minutes. So I ate lunch really quick because I didn't want to go and put a bunch of stuff on my lips and then eat lunch. So I was deciding, what do I want to do with my lips? Because again, I'll swipe through all of the images that were on the Beauty Bay website for this palette. A lot of overline lips, a lot of glossy lips, a couple of nude lips. I don't know. I'm not really sure what I want to do. But I'm going to prep my lips first with the e.l.f. Lip Lock pencil on the outside of my lips. Because, you know what? Just take me out. Oh, did you notice my lights, by the way? Do you like my little fairy lights? I hung them up last week. I think that's a cat. Let me see. Hold on. Tis a cat. There she goes. There she goes. Hello. This is Salem. This is my brother-in-law's cat. Oh, baby. She's the sweeter of the two cats that we have. The other one is my husband's, and she does not like being held. So I'm also going to take the plump side of my e.l.f. Lip Plumper and Primer and just add that as well. How many uses do you think that has left? I'm gonna say like 25. I don't know if this is like a grungy lip trend or if this is like the trend now or something, or maybe I'm late to the trend, but it's lining the lips with brown, feathering it out, and then putting like a nude lip on top. So I'm gonna try that using a Revolution Super Fill Lip Liner in the color, what color are you? Wonder. Now I have a nude lip color. I'm not really certain how this is gonna look. This is my Lip Couture from Technic. It doesn't have a shade name, it's just like a nude lip. As far as I can tell, it doesn't have, nope, no shade name whatsoever. So we're just gonna add that to the lips here. This is a really, this formula is really, really nice. I know it doesn't stay very long, but like, look how pretty and creamy and just like, Okay, I didn't think I was a nude lip girly, but okay. I did think about adding this, which is the e.l.f. Super Glossy Lip Shine in the color Goddess, on top, because I am seeing like that sort of really super glossy look, but I don't know. Should we just do it? We can always take it off. I remember one time in middle school, a friend of mine asked if I wanted to put some of her lip gloss on, and I said sure. And me, being somebody who never applied lip gloss ever in their entire life, and I was about 11 or 12 at this point, I took the gloss and I got like so much product out and then tried smearing it on my lips, and I felt really, really silly. Okay, I actually really like that. Now, originally I was thinking maybe I was going to use this on the lip, you know, but I kind of like this more muted because it lets the eyes kind of speak, you know. And now this is just one of a couple of looks that I want to do this week. And I got out some wigs, so you might see them in the next couple of clips. I know I said I would insert some images of me using the palette the rest of the week to make other various different makeup looks, but I kind of didn't feel like wearing makeup the next couple of days for reasons. We won't get into that. Did we like the dupe palette? Do we want to try duping other palettes? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up down below. I would totally appreciate it. And if you're feeling a little frisky, go ahead and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello. What was that? I'm finding hairs everywhere. Except when you get it in your eyeball. It never looks like right when I do it.